Hey! Interesting today. Interesting. Firstly, I want to start off with yes, there's going to be something in it about the ex, obviously. I have lost even count of how many times I've said this is the final day. But this is super useful as as a human thing. And for so long, I've been trapped in it. So I want to give that advice to her, but she's not the only person that's dealing with this. Everybody's dealing with it. Before even I get into that, I want to thank you. If you're here, what you actually give to me is something that money can't buy. I have been able to here say anything I want. Whether today I've got back pain, whether I'm motivated one day, whether I'm crying another day, whether I'm talking about a relationship and you're like, Andrew, just move on and stop. She doesn't love you and she doesn't care. And, you allow me to speak what's true for me. And I don't take that for granted. I think it's the most special thing in the world that I can just fully be me every day and show you also in that, I show you that we're all human and that this is my journey, and hopefully from my journey you can see something for yourself. It's the raw, it's the real, it's been a lifelong dream to find this. And this was created from nothing. YouTube was something that I've always wanted, and I wanted to film daily. I wanted to live an artistic expression of my life, and I wanted to do that. And that brings me to my next point, if you're following along. I was writing emails to my ex. The emails were poetic love letters, saying, here's how I feel, this is what thoughts come up to me, was I crazy, you left me, but then there was all these beautiful times, here's what I loved, here was the brilliant thing, here was the amazing thing, and I would sign off with, dear, her name, I love you. The purpose of it, and I had intentions of it, was to let her know that she's loved, let her know on my feelings inside, what happened behind the scenes without even her noticing, that I was scared to lose her, that I loved her so much, that I worried for her, and here's what I loved about her and why she's the love of my life. Beautiful messages, and supportive as well, like you can do it, not bad. And if you're following along, it took all of 5-6 days before she said, if you send me one more, you're going to get a restraining order. So she was like, no, I'm not accepting your love. I'm not accepting your love. And I was writing a whole book around it. The next day, she then goes public with that she's writing a book in the exact same style, written exactly the same. However, it's negative. It's more about me and her feelings, which is nice and therapeutic. I get that. It's her feelings, and everyone has their own feelings. But it wasn't to love. It was, again, sort of playing a victim, like, look how hard it was for me. And look, I don't know if my emails triggered her and she's like, oh my God, he's going to write a book, so I need to quickly write something to show how horrific it was for me, or whatever it was. But that's not the point. The point is it's again repeating the exact same cycle. In our relationship and in her life, what she does is she finds somebody to idolize or somebody to impress, be that a parental figure or another figure, and now will mimic, copy, and try and beat and try and do that. Singing, you've seen me cry, that's my lifelong dream. Singing. She exited the relationship, started taking copious amounts of narcotics, and immediately released a song. It made me feel horrible. She almost made a mockery of my dream. Now, it's not her fault. She's not connected to her feelings of how they impact other people. She's very still, in her thing. But it's beautiful that she's writing a book. When we did meet, she had already started a few books. So it is something that was started for her. for her inside, that's part of her, which is great. But what she doesn't realize is if you mimic and copy somebody, you can get the result, and you're always going to know that that was my idea. You didn't do that yourself. I gave you the framework and you filled in the dots. And again, you're going to be back to scratch in 1 to 2 years and like, oh, that didn't build confidence. Why? Because it wasn't my idea. So for you, I have done so many things which weren't my idea. And I would get the result and be like, oh. And then I'd be like, no, I'll do this. I'll get the result. It is so hard to stay silent and allow life to happen until you actually get your own unique idea of something that is yours. And then no one can take it away from you because it came from sort of within. And I know that might sound hippie or sound weird, but it's a sum of your life experience of something your heart calls to. And that as an experience is what you want to pull towards. And you're seeing this live happen as well. I'm pulled towards this. I have to stop myself. I want to film YouTube videos of me, because I will go through half of my day and I'll have brand new thoughts, brand new discoveries, brand new learnings, and I want to share. I have to stop myself. I'm going to get 4 or 5, same as singing, I have to stop myself. And when I was writing the book, I had to stop myself because I already have a book. Like, that was pure for me. There's two, like, I'm sad because on one hand, like, I get how therapeutic a book is to write, but I'm sad that that was like 4 or 5 weeks of my life, and I've had to pause the book for the moment because I'd be disgracing myself. I was trying to write it for her and the wider community, but to make a difference to her. And again, it's just beautiful. I'll just do it myself. And I don't know what the outcome is. Everyone in the comments, let her know. You need to have the conversation with your primary caregiver. You need to. Nothing else will help. You're going to seek validation for the rest of your life, and it's going to be really upsetting. And my spidey senses also tell me that she lasted 8 days sober and back on. And that's so sad to deal with. And I understand that the book can be therapeutic. I understand that people have their own journey. And people will say, no, people have their own journey. And I was like, you know what? I would have loved somebody to sit down heart to heart and tell me over the last 10 years, don't copy, don't mimic, just explore until you find what you want to do for you. I would have saved myself 10 years. So who would I be if I wouldn't share this with you if she's watching with her? I would be a person that's selfish. I'd be a person that knows the answer, has gone through so many hurdles and so many upsets, and didn't tell her. Why? Because I want her to suffer? She's not writing me these emails. There's no emails. I won't share what's written, and, I want her to find coping mechanisms, but at the same time, I also don't believe in coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms are exactly that. They're coping mechanisms. They're designed to cope. You don't need to cope. You need to have if you're watching yesterday's video, the courage. Sorry, this beard. You need to have the courage to address the thing head on. The sooner you address the thing head on, your whole world will look different. Imagine a place where if you aren't, somebody told you you're wrong, somebody didn't listen to you, somebody made you feel worse than. If it's your primary caregiver, horrific, you were brought up in that. Imagine that, and your filter of life is looking through somebody, please listen to me and please like me. Imagine if that melted away and you don't need anybody to listen to you and you don't need anybody to like you. Guess what? Then you will have your own idea magically come up. Your true higher purpose self just comes out. It's just like that. If you can remove the stuff, the muck that caused all this crap, and confront it, what's the worst thing that can do? You're going to have a conversation with a person. They're going to scream. They're going to shout. They're going to brah. You're going to be like, okay, I understand. And I'm still going to be here. Okay, maybe the conversation will take a month. You'll have to just keep showing up. You'll be like, hey, I'm awake today. We're continuing the conversation. What if the person's like, that's it. If you have one more conversation with me, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? But you need to have the courage to do that. And for all people, there's one or two conversations that you need to have. You know what they are. You know how much they're impacting you. You know that that's where your hurdle is. And you know what, as life goes on, you'll probably have more conversations to have, but they're not going to be as deep as these ones. But life is a constant conversation. For example, right now I'm speaking to you about my ex-partner. There's a lot of conversations between me and my ex-partner that at some point we'll need to have to be able to clear all this muck. Because otherwise it's going to be stuck in my heart, it's going to be stuck in her heart. Otherwise, we won't be able to probably fully move on into new relationships or the same relationship or existing relationships or heal, because there's just a lot of muck. And we leave so many skeletons like that, and we just build muck and muck and muck until we're so messy we don't even know what we're doing, and then we're like, I'm just going to get a job and I'm going to sit in my cubicle because I don't know, where do I even begin? Have the courage to have the conversations. If you want to support my ex, she's a beautiful, beautiful, most intelligent human being. Just, her soul, 20 out of 10. Encourage her. Say in the comments, have the conversation with love heart. You can do it. Have the conversation. You can do it. You can do it. She needs the support. She needs the support. She needs the support. But part of me is also like, man, you're 20, or now shortly going to be 21. I'm 34. I picture when I was 20, 21, I didn't have a clue what was going on. And am I being too optimistic? No, I don't think so. Because there are people that are brought up with really powerful families, for example, and that bring in core values at a young age. And I know people that at 19, 17 were already doing what they love because they had the freedom and the space from everything to do. There's not. And so many people are like, oh, they're just 20. Okay. My ex is capable of being a immensely sensational 20, 21-year-old. Sensational. Same as you. Whatever age you are. You can be 60 and 70 and say hello, And by the way, the validation thing and the conversations and copying people, most people do that forever. It's not a young thing. Most people do that forever. Most people will live in a cubicle created by their own mind with the fear of not addressing the thing that they needed to address. So to my ex, to you, to everybody, have the courage to do so, as I said yesterday. But my biggest thing that I'm really just really, really, really present to is thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like you, even if it's just you, one person, like you, the one human, and you're still here and you're watching, you let me be me. And I will not take that for granted, meaning I'm not going to talk about, I always put through a filter, if this isn't going to make a difference to you or make value to you, and it could be sometimes to entertain, it could be sometimes, I will not take it for granted. I am here for a purpose, and my purpose is higher than me. It has to be higher than me. Because for me, whatever. I'll sing a song, I'll post it on social media, I'll get my social validation, I'll get a few likes, and happy birthday, you know. Success alone is really sad. Really sad. Because the moment you get success, you're like, hey, everybody, let's enjoy time together, and there's no one there because you didn't help anybody get successful either. So, successful in their own right, whatever they want it to be. Anyway, you're a beautiful human. My ex is a beautiful human. Have the courage, and it's upsetting that she's copying me, but if she wants to copy and go through that journey, she's going to copy it, she's going to release it, she's going to sell it, and then she's going to realize that that whole thing wasn't actually her idea. Well, she knows it already. And it's going to miss the, it's going to miss the, I love that I did that, miss the confidence of doing that. And that's sad. You're going to waste years of your life doing something that is only going to put you potentially back, because it's going to make you question even more of the world. Maybe you need to do that. And I come from a place of love, unconditional love. So if you need to do that, if you can't have the conversation, it's just one conversation, and you need to go and fail a bunch more and spend years and years of failing, then I can understand. But know that you're way more capable than you give yourself credit for. And I know that stuck in this world of like, I'm a victim and please somebody care about me, and look, she didn't write me the email, she wrote it to her audience. It's just like, maybe I'm hurt by that. Well, I am hurt. I am. There's no love there, there's no feeling there. It's all about, again, me. And not because she's a bad person. It's me because no one has, as a primary caregiver, said that you're important and you matter. So I'm telling you, you're important and you matter. But you need to go get that from the people that really at a core instinctual level you need to get. I love you very much. I'm having a beautiful day, beautiful morning so far. I just feel very alive, very calm, very, very centered. And I think, going back to a week ago now, the answer is love. We got lost there a bit. She said, no, love is not the answer. I'll get a restraining order against you. So I was like, I'll love you at a distance. Then I was like, anger. You got to get that anger when I'm at myself, like get angry at myself. And I tried that vibe on, and that was not bad, but it had a no vibe to it, And because it had that vibe, it wasn't as nice as what I'm feeling now. So I'm enjoying feeling what I'm feeling. And courage. Have the courage. You've got this. I'm all in. I'm all in on my life. If you need the courage, use me. If Andrew can do it, you can. I'm nothing special. I earned through blood, sweat, and tears every single moment that I'm here. I've proven it already. You've seen it. And we're going to keep proving it. So come on. Let's go. I love you so much.